Hello and welcome back. This is Kearns Customs and my name is Liz, and today we're going to do a ProCreate how-to video. Today we're going to go over different ways to use color options in ProCreate. There's a lot of different ways to do this, so this is going to be just part one out of a series, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see more. ProCreate has some great color options. Like I said in my intro, we're just going to hop into just a few today, so if you would like to learn more or you like what you see, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and stick around and subscribe. The first thing we're going to take a look at is our different options for color tabs in our color palette options. So if I click on my colored circle in the top right hand corner, it will open all of my color options. One thing that I really like to know is that when I'm using colors quite a bit in my artwork, I can pop this out to be a little floating dock, so that way I can pick a color and draw, and then pick another color and draw. I can do that without even opening my color option back up, so that's really fun. And then when I want to get rid of it, I'm just going to hit the X to take it away. This is just my color wheel. This is a great option to start with. I can pick what hue I want and then the intensity of it, how dark or light it is, and it will show me the comparison between those two colors. I have a history section here as well, and I can also, if I have a color selected, I can tap and start to build my own palette. If I really like this palette, I can name it later as well. I can also clear my history if I want to start over on a new piece of artwork and have my history cleared there. This is a great option to start at, and it's many people's favorites. Next to this is our classic. This looks a lot like a Photoshop color option. Color picker, we have our hue slider, our intensity slider, and our saturation slider. I can also move around within here and pick as well. Same as before, I have my history section, and I can add into my palette if I choose to. Next we have harmony section. This is the section I use the least. This is going to pick complementary colors on purpose for us. So if I want to pick a complementary color, a color that's going to make each other stand out or go well with each other, of blue, I can come over, or of orange, I can come over and see what that might be, and it will pick the exact hue comparison as well. So I have a nice bright orange. It's going to pick a nice bright blue, and then if I come down to pick a less saturated blue, it's going to pick a less saturated orange as well. I can use the saturation slider here as well to change the saturation of the whole color wheel when I'm picking there. Next I have my value slider. I use this one the least to, unless I'm coming in here to pick a very, very specific color number, which I would want to type in here. There we go. It will also tell me those numbers as well if I want to find a number to give to somebody if I'm selecting colors for a shirt or for a logo. So that's a nice feature of this area. Next we have our palettes. These are palettes that are kind of loaded in, and then you can see I have some palettes that I've created here. We can set these as our default, share them to our friends, duplicate them to add onto them, and delete them if needed. So I have one for a full rainbow here to start with. Sometimes it's hard to pick out a pure red or a pure green, for example. I have a palette from a nice sky image. I needed a lot of blues. I have some skin tones, some more from some images, some more skin tones here. I was playing around with Starry Night, a color wheel, so on and so forth. And then you'll have some loaded and named in here as well that you can mess around with. So you can see my color palette that I was working with here is automatically loaded into here. If I want to rename it, share it, duplicate it, or delete it, if I want to rename it, I'll just click there to rename it. Whatever I would like. And this is also the easiest place to delete that color palette as well, I find. And then you can see the one that has the blue check mark is going to be my default color palette. So right now, if I go back, it will pop up as my rainbow. Another really convenient and fun way to make color palettes is to create a color palette from a photo. So if I hit the plus sign here, I can create a new palette that way as well. I can take a picture, or I can create from photos. So when I'm trying to find a bunch of colors in something, maybe we'll find the colors in my ramen dinner here. If I'm trying to find the colors, or if I have a photo that I'm really inspired by the colors, I can drop it right in and it will pick out those colors for me, so we can see a lot of reds, oranges, and dark tones from my ramen noodle dinner I had the other day. So that's a nice fun way. And then I can see this as compact, or if I want to see those a little bit larger, I can switch over the cards as well if I want to see those colors a little bit larger and kind of separate from each other. One last thing I would like to go over for our colors today is color dropping. So if I press and hold on my dot, I can drag it over and drop it in. This is a way I can recolor the whole area. I can also use this to fill in a shape. So if I have a shape drawn and I want to fill that shape in, I can usually fill them in. The reason it didn't fill this one in is because if I look at my lines, you can see this is a very scratchy pencil. It's just a 6B pencil is what I have selected, so it isn't a full line. So that's a problem some people run into a lot when they're trying this out for the first time. So what I would like to do instead is make sure I have a very solid line, maybe a marker line. So let's try that again. The reason that didn't work is because it's not a closed line, so let's make sure we have a nice closed line here. So there must still be a break in my line somewhere, so let's try another. And sometimes this can take a little bit of trial and error. One of my favorite ones that I found that works the best is the syrup brush. So we'll go ahead and try that out. And there we go. It's going to fill in perfectly. One thing I'll check too is if I draw it pretty quick and it's not perfectly closed. For example, like that, you can see there is a small gap here. So if it's not perfectly closed like that, it will fill in the whole thing as well. So I also want to make sure I'm on the right layer. So if I draw a couple of shapes and then I add a layer and I want to draw a couple of shapes and I try to drop in, it's only going to drop in on whatever layer I'm currently on. So it didn't work for that one because it's on a separate layer. We'll talk more about layers in another video as well. So there you go. There's quite a few great coloring tips and tricks, and I hope you enjoy using all of your colors that we have chosen to work with and all of your color tips and tricks that we chatted about today. If you have any other questions about color or ProCreate in general, please let me know. Leave a comment down below. Have a great day and keep creating. Bye!